in dating, being broke in dating,
Okay.
from a woman's perspective, why are men giving low energy when it comes down to planning a date?
Ooh. Like from the being broke perspective or just in
It could
general?
be going broke. Some guys want to go out and they want to go for a walk. Not guys want to invest too much. From
So,
the
and I get
start.
that, and that's fine. Like, if you want to go for a walk, like, I'm down to go for a walk. It doesn't come down to like the money or the aspect of like, I just want to see you first and foremost. And I feel like a lot of guys nowadays have this like thing where they invest their time and money in people that don't make sense. And they get mad when people are using them for money. But really, like, they went on these dates with these girls who have that background of doing that. So, like, who's really in the wrong there?
What does that mean, though? Just iron that out. I feel like you're not, because I've watched your content. You're pretty spicy with the content, but now you're coming in here tame. So I don't know. I don't know if it's an intimidation factor. What's going on? Say it
No,
from the
okay,
heart.
so
Come on
like,
now. You got this.
I just feel like a lot of guys are saying, like, oh, girls are using me for my money. And I do kind of believe that there are some women out there who are using men for their money or a free meal or whatever. So if you don't want to invest a lot in the front end, fine. That's fine. But if you're dating broke, that's another thing. Like I think what it comes down to is, are we going for a walk because you just want to see me and spend time with me and you can't really like afford to, or are you like, do you have this vendetta against women and like, oh, well, you don't deserve she doesn't deserve for me to take her out to dinner kind of thing.
So when you say vendetta, you mean like men that are hurt? They're like suffering from what they like to call now the manosphere, red pill rage.
Yeah.
They've been hurt. They're broken. They're shattered dreams. Is that what you're
Right,
trying to say?
exactly. I feel like there's a lot of hurt men that think that women are using them because one woman hurt them in the past, and that's what it is now. So all women, they generalize, all women are going to do the same thing.
Interesting. That's a great perspective. I like that. See, you coming in like now you're getting to warm up a little bit. So
done with
here's
you.
my thing. Here's my thing. I feel like, and I've had guests come on the show. Shout outs to Coco, right? She said something about the coffee walk date's not a good thing because of the vetting process. All you're doing is you're vetting the woman before you see if she's hot enough to take her out for a dinner date. So you're saying going for a walk is a good thing then?
I honestly, okay, I don't mind it. Like, I'd rather just spend time with you. Like, my love language is spending time together. So, if you want to
Quality
take
time.
me on a walk as a first date, like, I'm down to do so if you step it up for the next date.
So
But,
define step it up. Talk to the
like,
men here.
we're going to be doing something. Like, you're taking me somewhere.
Like, so I love how
Whether
you
it be
just-
dinner, whether it be something to do. We're going somewhere, okay? Where you're spending money on me, preferably.
I love this. You're going somewhere. So, all right. I'm gonna play the pitcher here. You can be batting whenever you want to switch roles. We can. You can bring your questions also too. My biggest thing is that when you say is we're going somewhere, where does the entitlement come from of going somewhere? And I'm just weighing both sides of the coin. I'm being devil's advocate. Why is that?
Because I think that I'm worth it.
Define what's worth it, because a lot of women do say that they're worth it, but
Right.
the conversation piece is what are they bringing to the table to show
Right.
that they're worth it is the conversation.
So are you asking about what a woman brings to the table to think that she deserves that? Or are you asking from the man's
Absolutely.
perspective?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, first of all, I believe that I am wifey material. So
Shit.
so let's start there.
Okay.
But
Let's
I also
go.
think that it depends on what kind of guy you're entertaining, right? Like I could some guy can find something valuable that I bring to the table that another guy just doesn't care about. So it really depends. I feel like a lot of guys ask that question and are asking because they want the woman to fumble the answer. But I know what I bring to the table. And it really just comes down to like who I'm dealing with.
Okay. I like that. That's a respectful answer. So the entitlement factor I feel like in dating comes from both sides of the coin. I think men, you addressed it. Some men are hurt. Some women are also hurt also too.
For sure, yeah.
And I think a lot of women play off of past experiences through traumatic experiences with their men that they've dated, or maybe have been on, maybe engagement, wedding, things like that, kids. It is what it is. So I think there needs to be a commonality as how the dialogue is going from the first conversation, right? Are we dating with intention, or is it just hookup culture?
Are you asking in general?
It's just putting it out there.
I think that people need to be more intentional with dating. I think that if you don't know what you want, why are you even putting yourself out there? And either way could be fine, right? Like you could want a relationship and that's completely okay. And no one should say that you deserve anything else than a relationship. And then on the flip side of that, it's completely okay to just want to have a hoe phase. Like if that's all you want, be intentional upfront about what you're actually looking for. And one, more people will respect you about it. The thing is, delivery is key too. I feel like a lot of men come to me and they're like, oh, well, like I told a woman that I only wanted sex out of her. And like you said it very directly. Women have to be sauced up a little bit. And the delivery is everything. When you are saying that the only thing that you want is sex, at least juice it up a little bit. But be straightforward about what you're actually looking for, because
So
that's how people get hurt. What?
Is that juicing it up with a dinner or juicing it up with like,
See, it doesn't even take that, for some women. So like being like, hey, I respect you. I think that you're really cool. Right now I'm only looking to like for something casual. If that's something that you're into, then, cool. But if not, then I'm going to keep it moving, because neither of us should get our feelings hurt because we don't want the same things. And then what it turns into is if you don't want the same things and you're still pursuing each other, one person is going to end up hurt and thinking like, oh, that's a fuck boy, a fuck girl. Am I allowed to curse on here?
You already did. It's fine.
Okay.
I love how everybody thinks they can't curse on the show. It's fine.
Well, it's really hard for me to not.
Get it off. It's fine.
But yeah,
you're controversial. Trust me.
Yeah. So, what I was saying is like, what it comes down to, one person's going to get hurt and then you're going to think that that's a fuckboy. It's like, if you were both intentional in the very beginning, no one would have any feelings hurt. And maybe that could be potentially a friend that you can have down the line. Like, it's not like, we don't have to get it that deep. People get their feelings hurt and then think, oh, well, they're an awful person. It's like, no, you weren't clear about what you wanted.
No, it makes sense. I like that. I like that analogy. And I've always said I think that more people on dating apps, and if you meet in person, because I feel like we are meeting people in person, but now everything is on digital age. It's easy for somebody to knock on the door on the DM, get in there, figure it out, ask questions, right?
Right.
So I can see where if it's all you're wanting is physicality from the jump, you say sauce it up a little bit, right? I feel like if we're dating because if you feel like you're the type of woman that wants to date with a purpose and have something that's long-term that can lead to either marriage, kids, things like that, correct?
Yeah.
Okay, makes sense. So we're on the same page. We have the same sort of mindset there. Why do you think now a lot of people are in this phase of just wanting to hook up, as being in the hookup culture? Ooh. Is it because it's easy? Is it because it's...
Yeah, no, I think that a lot of people are just hurt and don't know how to deal with it. So they'll, whatever their vice is. So if it's like fucking it out, like that's what it is. And like, I'd rather just like, because we all crave connection. So if they're not getting it from like an actual deep connection, they're going to turn to the physicality of it.
That makes sense.
Yeah. What are your thoughts there?
Thoughts on
like why people are prone to the date or the hookup culture?
Because they're broken.
Yeah.
They're broken. And I'll say this. I'll start with men first. I think men are broken. I think men need to have a thing called, and I've said this on a previous episode, have to have a thing called discipline when it comes down to how much of you're spreading your energy out there to women.
For sure.
Random women also, too. Because you look at the manosphere, whatever, if you're pills or whatever you want to do, pop pill, matrix, all that stuff. I think a lot of men have to really think, what am I getting myself into, right? It's all about energy at the end of the day. Now, this is that conscious conversation, that dialogue. A lot of women now, I don't think it's wise. I think you can talk to, but if you're sleeping with, there's a different conversation there. That makes sense?
Okay. Why is that?
You want, I feel like you're going to come cancel me now.
No, I'm just curious.
So here's the thing is, I feel like, yes, men and women are not the same.
We're built different.
We're built different. We get that. But I think if women want to find the best person, the best valuable option that's out there, it's probably best to know how to vet correctly. And a lot of women do not know how to vet correctly because they play, like I mentioned, off of past experiences and traumatic things that have happened in their life.
Right.
Go back to childhood. Could be between mom and dad is one thing. So if mom and dad were not seeing eye to eye as you're growing up, what do you think is going to be elicited into your mindset going forward?
Right. No, I get it.
Right? Now,
For sure.
you go from that to having a bad boyfriend. What's your longest relationship been? Versus how were you treated into that relationship? If you've always dealt with nice guys, or I shouldn't even say nice guys that are like quality, that's what you should be out there wanting to do, right? Instead of dealing with these guys that are not really offering things. And I think that a lot of women don't know how to pick the right person because they leave it to their own thought processes. What's your take on that?
Right. No, I agree. I think that we don't always go for what is best for us. We always go for what we're used to and what we're comfortable with. So if we hadn't had that modeled in our parents or modeled ever, like there's some people that don't have good figures to look up to in a relationship. They don't know how to properly communicate in relationships. They don't know, how to trust someone and communicate their feelings in relationships. So I think that's what it stems from. It's like sometimes we don't even know what's best for us because we haven't seen it.
Now, do you think that's because us as human beings now don't do the inner work? We don't go
100%.
to therapy, right? I'll give a shout outs to, he's not here anymore, Kevin Samuel says the exact same thing, and he's responsible for getting a lot of people married. Is go through the trauma, right? But then also get the coaching that happens with that, right? Hire that coach, hire that person that's going to help you exercise the demons. So when you meet people, you don't have these issues that present itself. You know what I mean?
For sure. I think that it's harder for guys just because like the ego thing, and it's harder for them to express themselves because they were taught from a young age, like, hey, it's not okay to express your emotions. Like, you better man up. So unlearning those patterns and actually being okay with being vulnerable, it's a lot harder for men to do that than women. But I do think that it's like becoming more of a popular thing of like going to therapy, getting coaching, all those kind of things. So I do think that it's like going in a good direction. But, as of right now, I think it's still a problem, obviously, that we face now.
And then I believe now with the new form of masculinity is now being looked at as a negative outlook, right? Mm-hmm. So masculinity now that I'm seeing is there's this toxic side to it when it's not that, right?
Yeah.
And I think it's being exercised through being upfront. And when I say being upfront is like asking direct communication lines of how you're going to have talking points. That's how I am. I'm going to talk to a young lady, and we'll just use you. Me and you are having a conversation. If we flip this and it was like in a DM, it's going to be not Q&A like I'm probing you, but it's like I need to get up and see what's up in here first before anything else happens. And I don't think a lot of men do that.
No,
right?
not at all.
It's
like oh, she's hot.
Exactly. But what happens when the physical goes away?
It crashes.
There you go, right?
That's it.
So
when I met this guy,
away,
actually.
go ahead.
I met this guy. He's like probably in his 60s or something. I met him in a coffee shop, and he was talking to me about, like, we got on the topic of me making dating content online, and he was telling me how he married his wife specifically because she was this model. She was like, everyone wanted this woman, right? And he hates her now. Like, he's like, I'm not even attracted to her. I think like she's awful. Like, we do not have any type of connection whatsoever. But he's scared to get back out in the dating market because he's already 60. So like, what else is out there for him,
There's
and
ladies
he
out
was
there
like,
for him, I'm pretty sure.
I mean, yeah, but it's like you've been with this person for so long and that's what you're used to. It's like, I don't want to start over. Like, people get comfortable.
And you just woke that up, starting over. I think you have to start over in something, right?
Yeah, I mean, absolutely. For
You work
sure.
a
But
job,
a
you
lot of
don't
people
like
are
your
scared
job,
too.
right? Well, you can't be scared when you're in this dating space. We've all
No.
been had heartbreak. We've all been cheated on, right?
Yeah.
And if anybody says, "Oh, I've never been cheated on," they're lying. I've always said this. They're lying completely.
Do you think that all people cheat?
In what in what conversation?
Just like in a relationship. Like, do you think that
I think.
everyone has cheated?
Are we speaking from men point of view or women point of view? Do you want to tackle both?
Both.
I think women are more prone to cheat first, and I'm going to tell you the reason why.
Really?
Yes.
Do you have facts to back this up? Or this is just what you believe?
No, I'm gonna position it from a social media standpoint.
Okay.
I think that.
Oh,
women,
I know where you're going with this. Go ahead.
Where am I gonna go with this? Since you know, since you know me, since we're here, come on. This is the spice I want. This is what everybody's waiting for.
No, okay. So I think that you're probably going to say something about like what she posts or like the attention that she's looking for, like
Wrong.
for like thirst. Okay, let's see. Let's hear it.
Yes, there's what she's posted because everybody knows. If you look at the lens of social media,
Right.
women are gonna post. It's what happens after the post. Look, you could post a picture of you grabbing a Starbucks in your vehicle and just drinking your Starbucks, and you could have 5 to 10 people reach out to you in your DM. You're in a relationship at this point in time. Guys are sitting there, shooting their shot. They're asking you questions, checking it in. Good morning, good night, all of this other stuff. Say you have an issue with your dude. You can always revisit those messages.
Yeah, for sure.
You can always revisit those messages. That's
Yeah,
why
but
I feel
is she
like,
going to or not is a thing.
So I don't want to sound jaded. I truly believe that it happens more times than none because I'm speaking from my point of view. A lot of people see a podcast. They see multiple different women come on here. It is what it is. That doesn't necessarily mean that I'm leading with the lens of trying to get to know who you are. I want to simply sit here and build a network because building a network is going to get into certain places and you want to take people on the journey. You get what I mean? So anybody can shoot their shot on a DM, but it's about how you go into the conversation. And I think a lot of these low vibrational men are sitting here coming with, good morning, how are you? I want to hook up with you, fly you out, do all of this. At some point in time, if you keep knocking on the door will open and present itself. And that is me saying that about women. Now, for men don't get the same sort of quality that comes into the DM. It takes a very special woman to do that. If she actually is like, hey, you seem appealing, X and O's, where are we going to go? That's what I would say is men and women are not the same.
No, we're not.
Now,
Interesting.
do you want to bring it to where you think about cheating?
Yeah,
you're going to say men cheat first. I know that's what you're going to say.
I mean, I think that if you have a woman that is getting what she needs out of you, there's no reason for her to go outside of the relationship.
Define getting.
Like, if she feels seen, understood, there's physical contact that's not sexual. If she actually feels good in the relationship, she's not going to go outside. Like, the thing is, people need to understand, like, women are very loyal if you treat them right. When women don't feel like they're being treated right or they're missing something out of their relationship, they're going to seek that validation and that attention elsewhere. So usually it's social media. I always know when people are not doing well in their relationships when the girl starts posting selfies. Because I know when I was in a relationship...
Let's go.
Yeah, when I was in a relationship, I 100% would post selfies whenever there was an issue or a problem. It was very immature and like I've grown from that. But I know where the mindset is coming from. There's no reason for me to be posting selfies and like whatever if I'm in a relationship unless I'm getting paid off of it.
Well, you just said it, and let's wake it the fuck up now because when you said that, it's funny, the energy changed in the room because I was dealing with a person, which, again, that's a whole nother topic for another day, but she never posted on social media until the energy started to shift in the relationship.
Right.
So she start posting all of these things, and I'm like, you never really posted. Like the last post you did was 6 months ago, and we've been together all this time. But now all of a sudden, back in 2019, now you all of a sudden you want to start going on all these trips to America, your brother, and you're this and you're that. I ain't gonna drop no names, but people are listening. They're like, really, Rory's going there? Yes, I am going there because I'm way gone from that. You know what I mean? But it makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, she wasn't getting what she wanted out of the relationship, whatever that may be.
She was getting what she wanted out of the relationship, but the thing is, when you keep somebody hidden in the relationship, you tend to live a double life.
Okay, what do you mean by that? Are you gonna dig in?
Do I really want to go there? We'll go there. No, we'll go there.
Open the door.
Oh, I want to blow it off the hinges. You just gave me the blowtorch. That's what we're doing. We breaking and entering now.
Right.
What happened is when you're good to somebody, and because they live in a different cultural background, what they tend to do is they tend to hide you from the masses. And I feel like if you're doing that to several different men, and I was in a different headspace at that time, right? So what I didn't realize is that what was going on. I'm fully removed from that. Like I'm so far gone. Like if we were to ever run into each other right now, nothing's gonna happen. Okay. You gotta respect me. You may not like me because there was a lot of lies that were told, but you have to fucking respect me now when you see me. That's a fact. You see what I'm saying? So I agree to disagree about the point of when you're saying that a lot of women will post the selfies. Men don't really post selfies like that because men are always looking to find a way to level up.
Yeah. I mean, I think it goes both ways, though. Like, if a guy is posting a selfie, like, that could be him wanting more attention outside of the relationship. But...
So what does that mean? Why are you holding back, Gabby? Don't hold back. Come on.
Like, if he doesn't post regularly and he's posting all of a sudden, like, these shirtless pictures from the gym, like, if he's posting those kind of things, why is he posting that? Like, we have to think, like, why, at the end of the day, the very bottom line, why are we doing that? So you can get some likes, so you can get some attention.
So what's your requirements in dating?
What are my requirements? I'm like all about like qualities in people. So like you have to be open-minded, you have to have a growth mindset, you have to, you know, be respectful, bottom line, bare minimum, respect me. I have to feel safe and comfortable around you, like those kind of things. What he looks like, obviously I have to be attracted, you know, but it varies.
So what's the height requirement?
I knew you were going to go there.
What do you mean how you know I was going to go there? You don't know what I'm going to do. I have no talking points. This is all free
I don't mind like a short king, but like not shorter than me or like not my same height. I want to be able to like wear heels around you.
And
so I would say like I've dated people like 5'9", probably nothing less than that.
And how tall are you?
5'6". Okay,
so you're your average height?
Yeah.
See, I could go Kevin Samuels and say what your dress size is, but we ain't gonna do that. We ain't gonna go there. You know what I mean? Because I'm not like dressed in a suit and tie and whatnot, you know, and spraying the fragrance of the night and whatnot. But well, you never know, right? So you have your requirements. So don't you think men should have their requirements also too?
Absolutely, I think that everyone should.
Now, is it okay for men to simply kind of X out what they want and they don't want from a woman to bring to the table?
Yeah, why would he not be able to?
Because I just think some people settle for less than.
What do you mean?
I think some people lower the boundary scale because of what's appealing, what's there, maybe out of desperation, right?
You think the guys do that? I don't think so.
I think men. Okay, so
I think that girls do that more than guys.
I think some men look at some women and they see the factor of her being a certain way, may look a certain way, and I'm basing this off of a look, but not. There's nobody living up home. There's no scruples. Okay. And I think once you do that, you see the you know the body, the aesthetics, and stuff like that. You tend to run into a pitfall because what's going to happen 3, 5 years, 10 years down the road? right? Is she going to be able to raise children if she's never had that from coming into the relationship?
Yeah, but that's his fault though.
Why is it his fault?
Because he picked that. That's what
he
he wanted. He wanted the short-term pleasure of like, hey, this is my eye candy, this is my trophy, I look good. Like, men like to please other men, you know? So it's
and
not
women don't like to please other women?
I mean, yeah, to a certain extent, I would say.
Okay.
But I do think that like having someone that is attractive on your side, like a girl that is attractive for a man, is like it ups his value in a sense. Because then there's other girls that are like, oh, like she got this guy that is not so attractive. Like maybe he's more attractive than I thought. Or like maybe he has a really great personality. Like maybe I should try, you know? Like that's how we as women think.
I think with some of the unrealistic standards that women present,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm looking at the women that talk about, oh, having all this, he's got to have this money, this finance, all that.
Right.
I think they'd be better off, and I've heard a lot of women say this. They've been to so many dinner dates. They've been flown around the country, around the world, things like that. I think it's better off dealing with somebody that is on their way up, right? Maybe not dating that person that's that fully established, because I think that the relationships that are working, that I see personally, are not the guys that are in that high prolific area of life. They're middle tier.
Like building. They're in the building phase.
Building,
I don't know that I
right.
agree with that though. Like
Okay,
yes
so talk
and
to me
no.
about that. Okay.
Yes and no. So I don't mind being around for a guy's building phase. That's completely okay with me. I feel like the more that you invest in your man, like the better he's going to be, the better both of you guys are going to be. But I will say that like if he doesn't have a plan for himself, like this is I think where a lot of women get confused. It's like he has to have some sort of plan. And then also on the guy's perspective, it's like they're building, so they typically don't have enough time to put into a relationship.
That's
so
cap.
a lot of girls
That's
are
cap.
like,
That's cap. I'm going to cut you off. That's cap.
okay,
Cap.
you are not dating men.
That's cap.
It's literally not. Every guy that I've met in his building phase is like, oh, like I'm focused on my career right now. That is my main focus. Honest to God. I swear.
Because he doesn't know how to distinguish between the both of them. And nobody says you can't be in the trenches building. Right.
Right. No, I agree with you.
And it goes into the scenario. And I'm sorry.
But he has to want that. He has to want a relationship still. And I feel like, well, I'm from Miami, so it might be a little different. I think that there's different levels to this. Okay. But I think that the men that I meet here are like so focused, career focused, and like building, I have to be the best of the best because there's so much competition. So like, I feel like any guy in his building phase in Miami is not where the top guys, where he's getting all of the girls, the top guy is getting all of the girls. He's not there yet. So I feel like he's like, why would I settle like for these girls when I can reach my goals and then get anyone that I want?
This whole top guy business and 150K, 200K and all this shit. Here's my thing is, what happens when the money's gone?
Then the
because you can only spend so much money. You can only go on so many trips. At some point in time, you're going to want to, the main goal for, I think, majority of people that are looking to date with conscious ability is that they want to be able to raise a family at some point in time. A man can be in a building stage, can work his 40-hour work week, could be a content creator doing whatever it is that he needs to do and still be able to put time and make time for his women.
I agree.
That's why when I see some people talk about, oh, I need, I am working on myself, I think it's an absolute level of bullshit. I think it's cap. I think we're all doing whatever it is we need to do. You shouldn't have to shut off the valve that much unless you want to completely say, hey, listen, you know what? I'm in a position where I don't want to date. I just want to work on myself. Cool. But don't be actively out there in the nightclubs trying to, pick up. Because it makes no sense.
In the nightclubs, though? I mean, you should just know going into that there's probably not a future out of it anyway.
You would think that. There's a lot of people that don't look at it from that perspective. Yeah. They don't. A lot of it's like, oh, I can find my girl. But that's like rolling dice. That's like, you know what I mean? you don't know if that's going to ever really necessarily happen.
I mean, yeah, I honestly think that I have a very different perspective just living here.
I heard about Miami. Trust me, I've heard some.
Everyone's just like in their own world.
No, because people are chasing. I think they're chasing something that,
Is
it's
external.
Cool like here's what I'm saying. There's nothing wrong with wanting success. There's nothing wrong. Sorry, wanting 100K, 150K lifestyle, driving the nice cars, living in the nice condo, living in the nice house. But at some point in time, something's got to give.
Yeah.
Because at some point in time, you're not going to be doing that all your life. At some point in time, your mindset's going to want to settle down. When I say settle down, settle down's like settle down with a woman, whatever your preference is, right? Having kids, doing the family vacations, and things like that. You know what I mean?
For sure. No, I agree with you. I think it takes a lot longer for men here to grow up than like the typical, like, where do you live, by the way?
I'm in Canada.
Okay.
Come on now. You didn't do the background check?
I did. Okay, I just honestly forgot.
You forgot?
But,
forgot.
Okay, here we go.
You forgot? You didn't forget. You knew what
Right.
you're doing here, Miss Miami.
No, but seriously, I just think that the culture here is very different than like anywhere else.
Makes
you know?
sense.
So like maybe I have a little bit of a tainted mindset, and I agree with you completely that you can be in your building phase and still maintain a relationship, but the woman has to be a very special woman to know that she may not be the priority in the relationship may not be the priority at that very time.
Okay, let's play this game now. Let's play this. Say, for instance, you are, how old are you?
29.
Okay, not that far off in age.
Okay.
Say you want to go back to school. You want to do your psychology degree.
Okay.
Hypothetically, me and you were dating. You're in your building phase, are you not? You want that person to support you, right?
Absolutely, yeah.
There you go. So if that's happening, what makes it say that it can't work?
I also think that it's different for men and women, though.
Define that.
So, here we go. So I think that when women are, I think we have a little bit more leeway when it comes to like finances and like building ourselves up, where men, they get a lot of they think that their value is based on what they're bringing to the table as far as like finances and stability. So if a man is in the building phase, it's a lot different than a woman in her building phase, because that's not even technically what she should be bringing to the table, like if we're thinking about the traditional aspect of it. Okay. So that's why I think it's a little different.
Okay, so let's flip the script. Content creator, working 40 hours a week. How often do you want to simply sit here and see your man? Say he's putting in...
I'm like, are you saying
50,
he's a content
60
creator?
hours a week. He's a content creator. He's doing his thing. He's putting in 50, 60 hours a week. How often are you supposed to be able to get together with your man and see your man? And how often are you going to be like in his space and wanting to be in his space?
Yeah, so I don't actually know. I don't know. So like, I mean, I've not been in a relationship for 2 years now. So who I was then, wanting to see my man like all the time, like, is not the same person that I am now. So I don't know how to answer that question. No, but I don't know how to answer that. I don't know how often, because I have my own life. I have my own things going on. I don't want to see you 24/7 now. Like before, I was very insecure. I wanted him to be around. I didn't trust him. So of course I wanted to be around him at all times. Now I'm very like, I have my own space. I like my own things. I have my own friends. I have my own life. I don't need to see you 24/7, but I do need to see you. We do need to be able to invest in the relationship and have time to spend together, or else like I told you before, that's my love language. I need some quality time, but I don't need all of your time.
So how often in a week is that going to happen is my question.
I don't know. I would say maybe like at least 3 times a week.
So that's all I was looking for. So basically you're saying that you can socially, from your mindset, everything you've been through, that you can simply sit here and work with it and support it.
Yeah, for sure. Like, okay, so you're saying like support his goals and dreams and whatever,
Not
whatever
saying
he's
you have to
working towards.
Yeah, not financially supported though. It's not
Yeah,
finance, but like,
yeah, I
be his
definitely think so.
cheerleader.
Of course, that's like the role that I always play in any of my relationships.
Makes sense. Before you get into this powerful content and this conversation, I need you all to do me a favor. Hit that subscribe button on the channel, because that's the best way you're going to stay up to date with everything that's going on. Like, share, comment, review, and let me know what's going on, people. What's your longest relationship you've been in?
2 years.
2 years? At what age?
I had two for 2 years. So from like 21 to 23, 23. And then from like 24 or 5 for 2 years.
So you've been in a 2-year relationship. Okay. So what have you learned about yourself in the space of those 2-year relationships?
What have I learned for myself in those relationships or from those relationships?
Yeah.
I would say the first one being that I have to respect myself a little bit more. It doesn't matter how good of a connection that we have. If someone is treating you with disrespect, if someone's cheating on you, then fucking leave. And then the second one, I would say, there's so many. God, this really was the one. No, this was the relationship that really taught me my self-worth. Like, it was, I poured so much of myself into this relationship without the reciprocation. And I just feel like a lot of girls, and like, that's why I have my podcast Way Too Wifey, because I feel like a lot of girls will do wifey things for guys that don't deserve it. And then wonder why they're not getting like the results that they want out of it.
You guys,
What? Let's hear it. Let's hear it.
Because
no, let's hear it.
And it's not no shot at you. Mm-hmm. The women that do that for men that are not giving whatever anything back, that's the reason why later on in life you guys have all these boundaries that are set, right? And you want men to double over backwards, pursue. And we're like going all the way through like 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 dates. And it's just like, we're still at like the beginning Tetris stage. We haven't even come off the start screen yet.
Yeah, but those are girls that haven't healed yet. I feel like girls that have healed from that, like I know that I've healed from that. I also think that you need to look at why you have the boundaries. Do you have them to push people out, or are they there to protect you from, like, you know, maybe someone's pushing you a little bit too far out of your comfort zone? Like, and you should have like a healthy sphere of being in your comfort zone, but outside of that, like, why do you have your boundaries? You know, I think that that's like what everyone needs to look at. Like, if you do have boundaries, I didn't have any boundaries when I was with him though. And so now, like, I do have boundaries, but it's not to push people away. It's because I respect myself. It's because I want whoever I'm with to also respect me and like show up in the best version of themselves.
But you're young also too, right? At that point when you were dating that person.
Yeah, for sure. And it's all a learning lesson, but
yeah, life looks different when you're between 28 and 32.
For sure.
For some women, you'd think.
What?
For some women, you'd think.
Oh, no, 100%. I think that there's people that don't even learn that, period. That are still like having boundaries and pushing people out.
But, you know, the audience is going to tell me, and I know they're going to bite back and say, so single for 2 years? Mm-hmm. Is that possible for women?
Yeah, for sure. Single? I think that's healthy. Because I had to think about it like, okay, that first year, it was such a healing year. Like, that was the year that I really like, okay, this is about me. This is my year. I'm figuring my life out. What do I want? Because now that I'm out of this relationship that was like, I genuinely lost myself. I didn't have the same friends anymore. It was a completely restart. I wanted to move to Miami, so that was one of the things that I did for myself. I changed jobs because I hated the job that I was in before. I decided to start my podcast. I made goals for myself. Like, that was the year that it was all about me. And then the next year is like, what do I want out of a relationship? That's when I started getting back into the dating scene, like figuring out like what it is that I want, what it is that I don't want, meeting different people and figuring that out. So I feel like now I'm finally at a phase where like I know what I want, I know what I'm looking for. If you don't have that, I have no problem walking away from that.
But flush out that single, because see, when I don't think it's capable, or should I say, I don't think some women are capable of being single. Because when I hear single, to me, single means no men, no dating. If I'm from a perspective and I'm a male and I'm single, I'm not talking to anybody.
But that doesn't mean just because you're single.
I'm not going anywhere with anybody. We're not meeting up. There's no dialogue. And I think men can be more single than women can be single.
Really?
Absolutely. And ladies and
Interesting.
gentlemen,
I don't think
just
that's like what
Gabby
qualifies
off.
as single. If you're dating around, you're still single. No one has claimed you. You are single.
Is that how they call single?
But yeah, that's what they call it these days.
No. That's these days. Single means for me is like no women, like nothing. There's nothing going on. There's no activity. Zero
I
activity.
just don't agree with that.
All right.
Single, ready to mingle. You've ever heard of it?
I've heard of that reference. Don't do that. Yeah, but you see, you coming in with a little, you know. You think you're slick, yeah. You think you're slick when you're
like if I'm in a relationship, I'm in a relationship. If I'm not and I'm dating around, I'm single. No one's holding me down.
You're not signal. You're not single. No, you're not. I don't
How
agree.
do you figure?
Like I will define it again. Single, from my perspective, from a man's perspective, is not talking to anybody. You're single. You cut off all lines of communication. That means if you're working on yourself, you're working on yourself, and that only. I don't think women are capable of being single for that long period of time. So let me ask you this question. Let me take your phone away for 30 days. You think you can do that?
No.
Why is that?
Because I have things I gotta do.
You have things you have to do. What?
I work on my phone.
Okay, so let's take away your social media for 30 days.
Okay, I could do that.
And have all the accessibility around you where you don't really have to go anywhere. You have your house is there, you work from home, you got everything coming to you. Can you technically be single? Can you technically not have the presence of any man that's around for a long period of time?
Wait.
Or trying to like have conversation with you?
Okay, rephrase that.
No, because what I'm basically saying is being inside your house, right? And having everything accessible to you. Food, money, endless resources. You don't got to go anywhere. But you don't have the power of social media.
Okay.
You don't have the power of all these apps. All you do is you have a stock phone, and all you can do is call out of that phone. So that could be calling out to work, family, friends, no dudes. So you're saying you can go 30 days with no dudes?
Yeah, 100%. I've done dating detoxes. I think that people need to do dating detoxes and not talk to people for at least 30 days.
Why 100%? 30 days? Why not 60? Why not 90? Why not a whole year?
If that's what it takes, but some people just need that 30 days to get back. You know what I mean? Like, relearn yourself. Figure it out. If you need an additional 30 days, that's on you.
Okay, Gabby. Plug the information on the podcast once again.
IG and TikTok, Respectfully Gabby. And I do have a podcast of my own. It is Way Too Wifey. Check it out on all platforms.
And that's it?
That is it, yeah.
I'm waiting for my
For now. For now. We got a lot of things coming next year, so stay tuned.
Lots of things, eh? There you go. In studio, eh?
I'm sorry.
Anyways, Gabby. Anyways, you know what? This will be...
I'm so sorry. That was rude. Was that rude? I work with a lot of Canadians. So
What is that supposed to mean? You work with a lot of Canadians?
I didn't realize that like some people get offended by that.
I'm not offended.
Okay, but I also...
But that doesn't mean I'm Canadian.
Okay, well, I'm sorry to offend you there.
You may be offended the audience.
All right. Well, I apologize. This is my formal apology to the audience. I am sorry.